what's going on? Gen 21. I'm not going to know who that is. Who is Gen 21? Obviously, Gen someone. Jenna Badoon, Jenna someone. I don't know. I'm doing well, though. Thanks for logging on and making sure that this works for you. Glad you're able to type in the chat as well. I know some people were having some issues with that. Yeah, we're good so far. Hopefully you were able to access all of the online stuff. Jenna Badoon. All right. Hey, I got it right. There we go. I did guess that correctly. So give some people a little bit of a chance to log on here. If you haven't having any issues, let me know. I can try to work through helping you sign into some stuff here. If you're good, you're good. And if you have any questions, let me know. But this is just kind of a test. You're able to log on. That's great. Awesome. Perfect. Thanks for staying diligent with that. I know that this isn't easy for anybody right now, so hopefully this will make it a little bit easier for you guys, though. Hi, Anya. Thanks for checking in. Glad that everything was working for you. That you're able to chat, that's good. Hey, Zainab. So, like I said, this is just kind of, we're testing this out. I'm going to give people about an hour to see if they can log in, connect okay. If you have any questions about getting any of the technology kind of set up, we can do that too. I can walk through that. Hi, Batul. My break is going pretty well so far. Been spending a lot of time trying to get all this set up for you guys and create some videos, so hopefully those have helped you out a little bit. Other than that, we're just trying to keep everyone busy at home. Hard keeping a 3-year-old busy for a long time. What's going on, Amir? Amir, any math problems that you come up with that you watch on what is it nowadays? It's not Vine anymore, right? TikTok. Any TikToks you see, let me know. I'm bored over here too, so send those my way. Hey, Miss Beskin. Glad you were able to log on and check it out. Oh boy. How come I can hear you just saying that in your voice, Amir? For some reason, I can just hear you saying that. Miss Veskin, I can hear that in my head. It scares me a little bit. Again, anyone that's having any issues with the technology, let me know. Some people were emailing me asking me about the Khan Academy assignment. If you just signed up today, I refreshed that, so you should be able to see that now. So if you were having trouble seeing the Khan Academy assignment that was assigned to you, For pre-calc, you have the Khan Academy assignment and a assignment posted on Google Classroom. That there's a quiz that goes along with that. Both of those are going to be due by Friday at midnight. And for geometry, you have a Khan Academy assignment and an Envision assignment. Again, both are due on Friday by midnight, so we'll be checking those in. So if you're having any issues accessing any of that, please let me know. I can try to walk through that with you right now. What's going on, Fatima? Um, it's a good question. Um, Jen, I'm not sure exactly the dates yet. My guess is it's probably going to be a Wednesday, Friday thing, um, depending on when assignments are due. So, what kind of assignments I've given. I haven't quite figured out that schedule yet. I could do it on the spot too if we're having, if I'm getting a lot of email questions about certain things. I can go on and set that up, or I would like to have a set schedule though. Definitely like probably a Wednesday, Friday, maybe a Tuesday, Thursday, because Tuesday and Thursday, like Monday, you'll get your assignments. And then Wednesday, there might be something new. And then everything's usually due at the end of the week by Friday. So giving help on like a Tuesday, Thursday, or a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday type thing, 2 or 3 times a week maybe. So I got to go through the calendar, take a look at that, and figure out when things are going to be due. And I think I'm going to do separate streams for geometry and pre-calc just to try to get through the questions a little bit faster, and we'll kind of see how that goes. Don't have to see your faces every morning. Some I still see in my nightmares, but that's okay. That happens, right? Just kidding. I do miss you guys. It is weird, definitely weird, not having to go into work. This is also a very odd way of communicating with you, especially since I can talk and you can only type. So it's definitely a little strange. Some of your voices I can still hear though when you're typing. I can hear like Amir's voice. I can just hear it. There's something about it, Amir. Morning, Jason. My goodness, are you just waking up? It's 3 p.m., my friend. Nor, you know what? You can have your backpack on your table this entire time if you would like. While we are not in school, that backpack can be on the table. Number 2 of the readiness assessment for geometry. Well, let's find out. schools. Classes 2. Let me move this to the side here real quickly. Okay. Readiness assessment. Let's take a look at that. And you were asking about question number 2. Question number 2. Question number 2, to me, it looks like it would be the diameter, Ms. Feskin. In my opinion, it's got the line all the way through. So I think that 14 is referring to the diameter there. Just to answer that question for you. All right. Can you see my kids? Well, my wife just brought my daughter downstairs here, so we're gonna bring her on screen for just a second. There she is. Whoop. Let's make this bigger real quick. We'll put her up on the screen. Say hi, Evie. A little confused.
Braden can come down too.
All right. Got her.
Do you want Braden to come down?
Yeah, he can come down if he wants to say hi real quick. Uh-oh. I hope you're feeling better, Fatima. Missed your first hour. Can't hear very well. I'm not sure. I've got the sound adjusted. I can see that it's coming through kind of loud. I can try to turn that up a little bit. The end behaviors of a rational function. All right. So we've talked about a couple different end behaviors here. So basically, if you have a larger exponent on top of a lower exponent. So for instance, if, whoops, you can't see that. There you go. So you have a larger exponent on top of a lower exponent. And bear with me, the document camera I have at home with me, it's kind of not the greatest focus. So if you can't see something or read something, let me know. But if you have a larger exponent on top of a lower exponent, so something like x to the third over x squared. And then if you have some other stuff after that. As x to the third is getting larger and larger and larger, right? As this goes to infinity, it's going to reach infinity a lot faster than the one on the denominator. So this is going to get bigger faster. So this would be as x goes to infinity, your output, your function, or y, is also going to go to infinity because you're going to get a large number, a much larger number. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you can come down here with no shoes on real quick. You see him creeping down the stairs back there. Not just students, Jason. I open it up to everyone that wants to come and test it out. I'm giving the opportunity to other teachers to have their students come and see this too. Where'd you go, buddy? Come here. Come here real quick. Come say hi on the camera. You see Daddy in the screen there? You see that? You see that camera up there? Hi. Can you say hi? Can you wave? All right. I gotta answer this question, okay? All right. I see that that's in the way there. Let's move that down there. Okay. So as when you have a larger exponent on top, something to the third power over something squared, as x goes to infinity, so is y. It's going to get bigger, bigger, and bigger. In this case, as x goes to negative infinity, y is also going to go to negative infinity. because this is going to become a negative, right? Something to the third power will be negative, while something squared will be positive. So you're going to get a negative over a positive, which will cause you to get a negative solution. So that's larger exponent over the smaller exponent. If you flipped that, if you have x squared over x to the third power, so if you flip that upside down, now what's going to happen is your denominator is going to get to 0 faster. So you're going to have things like 1 over 2, and then maybe 2 over 6, and then 3 over 18. And so your denominator is getting bigger much faster than your numerator. And when this happens, you're going to get closer and closer to numbers like, 10 over 10,000, which is really, really getting closer and closer to 0. So the bigger your denominator compared to your numerator, if that's bigger, then you're going to get closer and closer to 0. So this one would be as x goes to positive infinity, your output of your function is going to get closer and closer to 0. And it doesn't matter if it goes to negative, you're still going to get closer and closer to 0 just from the other side of the inequality. Okay, or inequality, just from the other side of the axis. So you put negative numbers in, you're still going to get closer and closer to 0. The last case that we talked about is what if they're the same exponent? So if it's x to the third over x to the third, if they're the same. So if you got these 3 cases. So if they're the same exponent, then what's going to happen is no matter what I put in the top, I'm going to put the same number in the bottom, and I'm going to get 1, right? I'm going to get this something over something else. Now, if you have like x to the third plus 3 over x to the third plus 1. Daddy's talking, 1 sec, buddy. Okay, so as I have a situation like this, no bell. X to the third plus 3 over x to the third plus 1, then, or even like 3x, anything that's up there. This is going to get you closer and closer to 1, because the x to the thirds, those are really like the powerhouse of the function here, meaning that x to the third, as I put numbers in like 1,000, 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000 in for x, this number is really going to take control. The 3x doesn't really matter. X to the third is going to be much bigger than that plus 1. So these become, irrelevant parts of the problem. So this is really what we're looking at. We're looking at the leading or the highest degree of the polynomial. And if they're the same, then this is just going to go to whatever that fraction is. In this case, as x goes to infinity, y is going to go to 1, because x to the third over x to the third is just 1. And same thing to negative infinity, you're going to get a negative over a negative, which is still a positive 1. So it's the same thing. Now, if I change the coefficients, something like 5x to the third over 2x to the third, now all that's going to change is you're going to read the coefficient. So it's just 5 over 2. So as x goes to infinity, y goes to 5 over 2, and negative infinity, 5 over 2. So that is end behavior there. All right, so hopefully that answers that question. Let me kind of scroll back through the chat here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Hazimi, how come you haven't signed up for the other stuff, man? You haven't done the quiz yet, but you can log in and watch me on YouTube? What's going on there? Link I sent from Google Classroom doesn't allow chat. Doesn't show I went live. Okay. Thanks for letting me know that, Kaylin. I'm not exactly sure. Can you hear what's frustrating, but you figured it out. Okay. I also sent a link on, I don't know if you follow me on Twitter. The Twitter is at DHS Math Dude. I don't know if that link works. I'm trying to figure out which links work and whatnot. Hi, I see you there. So if you go to at DHS Math Dude, I also posted the link just to the channel, to the YouTube channel itself. I'll try to figure out why it's not working through Google Classroom. I'm curious if it has something to do with something to do with the school account. Yeah, that's what I think it has to do with Batua. They can't use the videos in your school account. So uh, it's weird that we have Gmail, right? We have Gmail, which is YouTube and Gmail are the same company now. But for some reason, your Gmail account won't work. Your student Gmail account won't let you watch YouTube. I think it just has something to do with the district. I'm going to email our tech company, our tech support, and see if they can work around that for the time being while we're away. So if you have another Google account to chat, you can do that. I just don't think that it'll let you do some of the other things. So hopefully you find a workaround there. Create a new account, a free account, use a parent's account, something just to try to have access to that. And if you can't chat, you can't figure that out, please send me an email with your question. As long as you can watch hopefully you can still watch the stream even if you can't chat. And I can open up my email during the stream time, and I can answer your questions kind of directly from there as well. So if you have questions during that time, please email me. Post it on the blog. I posted it on my Google Classroom. I have to play around with the blog. I haven't used the blog a lot this year. I've been using mostly Google Classroom, but I'm also going to post it on the blog. The emailed link should have worked too. And then again on Twitter at DHS Math Dude. Move this out of the way of the math there. Okay, it just says they're all restricted. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Caitlin. Yeah, I'll let me make a note of that. I need to email. Yeah. All right, I will email them and see what they say, and hopefully that'll work. Hopefully they can fix that. This has been fun. It's been interesting trying to set this stuff up. It's been definitely interesting trying to keep everything going, and then it's definitely hard. It's definitely a lot more difficult to teach this way, I feel like, because I can't really, this is the kind of best I can do, and the quality isn't great, but it's something that we got to deal with, and we're gonna go from there. It is nice being at home and kind of having different hours, but not having a set routine is also definitely challenging. I'm just hoping to find the best medium to kind of pass this information along, to try to help you guys out, answer some questions, give you some support on some things. I know if you haven't heard yet, the SAT and all the standardized testing is pushing back until at least May, I believe they said. So you don't have to worry about SAT testing right when you come back to school. But if you're working on SAT type stuff, you have questions, feel free to email me. Any of those types of questions that you're working through Khan Academy, anything you're doing to try to maintain that academic growth that you've gotten so far. Weird times, and we don't know what's going to happen moving forward, but trying to keep everything together here and learn and grow together. That's what we're trying to do here. So right now, Jason, it's just on completion. I am going to look for how you're doing that. How you're like, if you're just putting random things in. Some are multiple choice, some are going to be written problems. So I'm looking for, are you actually trying those? And it's more kind of like enrichment stuff right now. Yes, I am using 2 cameras, Miss Feskin. 2 cameras. About prom graduation, I don't know, to be honest with you. We haven't been given any information about that. So yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, all the sports stuff and everything. I as a coach, it would be really frustrating not being able to coach during this time, and as a senior and as even just a athlete at all, it would be very frustrating for sure. I'll remind. That's a good idea. Yeah, I'll post that on Google Classroom. Let me put a note of that to start a remind. Start remind. Okay. Yeah, I can change to different things. So I've got right now. I've got a like a camera, webcam. I've got the document camera right here next to me. I can kind of show you that with the webcam. So I've got the document camera here that's for my padded paper, and the software that I'm using, I can kind of switch back and forth between different screen captures. So right now I've got the document camera being captured, and then I can capture what's going on my page here. So I can just switch it back and forth between the different scenes. So I can show what's on the screen instead. So switch back and forth between those. Do something like this, you mean streaming? I plan on doing that at least twice a week. Is my goal, is to give you guys some support twice a week academically, and for an hour, and maybe an hour a day, or if it goes longer than that, if there are still some questions, that's fine. So yeah, I definitely plan on trying this at least twice a week. You just have to bear with me. I don't know if you can hear my daughter crying upstairs right now. There's definitely going to be some children noises coming from, because my basement is not soundproof. So oh boy, I'm pretty sure you can hear that. You're not happy up there. So yeah, the readiness assessment will be graded, like it will give you feedback. So it's just more of a, here's what you're going to see. Some of this stuff you'll know, some you might not, and that's okay. The readiness assessment is just to kind of prepare you and to give us feedback of maybe some content we can push through faster, some things that we need to make sure we remediate on. So what will happen is you'll complete the readiness assessment, and then it will give you some other skills that maybe you struggled on to look back at, and some other things. So it'll give you its own personalized remediation. And the remediation piece is just to help you. It's not something that's another assignment on top of the other stuff we're giving you. So really, readiness assessment in order to prepare yourself for what's coming up in this section, and the Khan Academy, and then you're good there. So whoever was logging in using my name, I did have to block you there. So make sure that you are doing things appropriately online, as many of you already know how to do, but I'm not going to have you mimic my name in chat. And so make sure that if you do want to participate in the discussions, that you create an account that represents who you are. Otherwise, we will have to continue to block those discussions. Those people will lose out on the ability to ask questions. I think someone asked me earlier, did I already have this stuff set up? I had a lot of it. Yeah, my brother-in-law actually put together a computer for me and been doing a lot of stuff for football. I've got two monitors kind of going on here. If I take this camera and show you guys, I've got kind of a dual monitor thing, but it's really nice, been really nice for football. To kind of watch film and break down film and make notes and things. So I started using that last November or October. October is when he gave it to me. So I've had this stuff for a little while, just kind of little hobby when I get some time to come down here and mess around with some things. But it was nice, definitely convenient to have for a situation like this. Thank you. Yeah, that was a Christmas gift from my in-laws. I wanted to have a nice little microphone there for recording and doing some other things. So. Gaming set. Man. You say so, Jason. I know we're going to be doing a lot of mathing down here. That's for sure. Funnest game of all. You know, I don't have any, Amir. I'm sorry. I'm not sure why you put orange juice in quotations. So. Slant asymptote. Yeah, we can talk about the slant asymptote for sure. Give me 1 second here. You mean as in like a problem like that's on your assignment and in your quiz there? Give me 1 second. Let me just pull up a thing here. Is the wrong chapter. Let me make sure I pull up the right chapter. Give us a quick problem here. Make sure the numbers work out. Okay, so let me write this one down. So we're going to look at, let me pull up the screen here. We're going to look at a problem like this right here. So we've got, it's still coming in a little blurry. 60, it was down here. Oh, I lost it because I zoomed in. So it's 60. We're going to look at this problem right here. Something like this one. Yeah, for the Y and stuff, yeah, don't worry about that one. I know that some people have already emailed me about what happens if they answered that last question and put in the Y as like capital, or they forgot the Y. I can go back and manually check that, so don't worry about that. Don't stress about that one if you were doing that right. Okay, so the problem, let me switch back here. So the problem we're going to look at is going to be x squared minus x over x plus 3. So the issue here with this problem, right? So going through the work here, as you're asking yourself, okay, what's the domain? What is the asymptotes? What's everything that's going on here? So in this case, if I were to kind of factor the numerator, I would get x minus 1, x plus 3 in the denominator. So there's nothing that's going to cancel out, which means there's no hole in my graph. There's going to be an asymptote, a vertical asymptote, right? That comes from the denominator. So the vertical asymptote comes from the denominator, where x cannot be negative 3, right? Negative 3 is going to create a 0 in the denominator, so we can't use that. So there's my vertical asymptote. My horizontal asymptote is actually a little bit different, because my I can actually set y equal to 0, right? If this is y, I can actually set y equal to 0. I can say 0 equals x squared minus x over x plus 3. I can put 0 over 1. You can cross multiply, right? You can cross multiply this and this. And so you're going to get 0 times x plus 3 is 0 equals x squared minus x. And then you can solve this for x, meaning that you're going to have y-intercepts, and you're going to have, there isn't a true horizontal asymptote. So what happens here is if the degree, so the degree of the numerator is 2, and the degree of the denominator is 1. If the numerator is 1 degree higher, let's try to autofocus this again. I know it's coming in blurry a little bit, but if this is 1 degree higher, that means you are going to have a slant or oblique asymptote. Okay, so that's really what you're looking for first, is the degree higher in the numerator. If that's the case, then you're going to have a degree, you're going to have a slant asymptote. So how we find that, if let me rewind for a second, that's if nothing cancels. So if nothing cancels, like we saw that there's no hole in the graph to begin with, no hole in the graph, then you're going to have a slant asymptote. So the way we determine the slant asymptote is by doing the polynomial division. So I am going to do it with the box method, the area model. I know that I am dividing by x plus 3, and my result is x squared minus x. So I need to get x squared here. So I need to multiply by x. So there is my first one. 3 times x is 3x. But I need my x's to turn into a negative 1, so I need to do negative 4x. How do I get x times to become negative 4x? Is I multiply by negative 4. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. But I really want a plus 0 here, so I'm going to put a positive 12 here. This positive 12, once I'm done, I have my x term, I have my constant term. After this is my remainder. So 12 becomes my remainder. So the polynomial division, when I'm done with it, is really, I get my solution of y equals x minus 4 plus my remainder, 12, over my divisor of x plus 3. So there's my function rewritten. So this function, y, and this function, y, are the same thing. So the original problem and what I have here are the same thing. This right here, in what you get, this is your slant asymptote. So this becomes your slant asymptote equation here. So that would be y equals x plus 4. So when you graph something like this, if I were to graph it, okay, I know my vertical asymptote was at x can't be negative. Oops, you can't see that all the way up there. But my vertical asymptote, x can't be negative 3. Let's try doing a little brighter color. X can't be negative 3. So I go to my x-axis, say negative 3 is right here. Dot, 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 dot. And then my slant asymptote, y equals x minus 4. So it's a y equals mx plus b equation. So I'm going to do, go down to negative 4. Let's say negative 4 is there. Then just up 1 over 1. So it's going to be a slanted line, just like this. And that's how you would graph your asymptotes. If you're not sure where to kind of put your function, whether it should go kind of in here or down here or up here, my suggestion to you would just to be plug in some values, plug in some x and y values, and see where they should go. It's going to be hard for me to ask you to graph and me to see your graph, but things like what is the equation of the slant asymptote, those are some things that you can do. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question there. So that, again, that only happens when there's no hole, right? So there was no hole when we simplified. We had a vertical. There's no hole. It didn't simplify any further. Numerator was 1 degree higher than the denominator. Due to polynomial division, to simplify the equation to end up getting your slant asymptote equation there. What's going on, Caden? Standards-based grading, man, I couldn't even begin to start telling you about that. We haven't gotten that far. When we have that information, we'll let you know. Kind of already talked about the capital letter Y versus lowercase and those things there, Amir. Hopefully you heard that. What's going on, Aaron? Thanks for checking in. Yeah, only one thing tool right now on Khan Academy. It should just be the polynomial functions using the zeros. The coefficient of the denominator is larger than the numerator, and you're dividing them. Is the slope a fraction? Why is there no horizontal asymptote? The horizontal asymptote is really, it actually ends up being the slant asymptote. So when this happens in this case, there's no horizontal asymptote. A lot of times the horizontal asymptote is going to be at, in a polynomial function like this, it's going to be at 0, or it's going to be a slant asymptote. Or if it goes, if like in our previous discussion, right, it's going to be your end behavior. So your end behavior is either 0 or whatever the number is. That's going to be your horizontal asymptote. The problem is problems that have an end behavior that goes to infinity. If your end behavior goes to infinity, that means you can't have a horizontal asymptote because your graph is going up and down forever, basically. So when we run into that situation, right, in this case, based on our previous example where the higher exponent's in the top, lower exponent in the bottom, this end behavior is to infinity. When you have an end behavior to infinity, a lot of times you're going to end up with a horizontal, not a horizontal asymptote, but a slant asymptote. Google Classroom. Yeah, x plus 1. Yeah, so if you put x plus 1 instead of y equals x plus 1 there, Aaron, I'll go back and go back through and check that and manually fix that for you. You guys just got to... it's hard for me to put all of the right possible combinations of how you could type that in. So when you see the directions where it says like answers should be in y equals mx plus b, just be careful about how you type those in. But I'll always go back and kind of double check that as well. Amir, this is online class, man. We're online and we're talking about math. You're assigned things through Google Classroom. That's going to be your online class. And through Khan Academy, that's your online class. And yes, you can do long division instead of the box method. I prefer the box method myself. But if you like the long division method, that's also fine, and you should still end up with the same solution. See if I can figure out how to make this focus. You live with me? Why would you live with me for online classes? It defeats the purpose of online class. I double check your Khan Academy. Let me switch over to my screen capture here, and let me go on to Khan Academy. What happens is if you signed up late, if you signed up today at some point, the Khan Academy assignment went up early this morning. So if you signed up at any point today, it has to be refreshed for you. So let me see, pre-calculus. So one new student update. So the 40, I think it said 3 now people that are signed up here should be able to see this. So double check that again. I just assigned that again. So it's just the zeros of polynomial functions. Some of you have your student IDs for your Khan Academy, so I can't really tell if you made it or not. So just double check that and make sure that you are signed in for that. Turn in the quiz. Do you have to attach work? I'm not sure what work you're referring to. The quiz was just to kind of check if you were doing the work. Like the work you can do separately. I'm not going to ask you to attach that for this assignment, and maybe something that I ask you to do. We'll work on trying to find. There's a couple free scan things. And some other things. Yeah, I did create a new one, or I kind of combined them. Check the Google Classroom code. Maybe remove me as a coach before you type the new code in, just to make sure that you're into the right class. And I will refresh that sometime later tonight. Or if you do it right now, I'll do it. And then tomorrow also I'll double check for people that have signed in. Getting back to your question, Jenna, about attaching work. I'm not necessarily sure that everyone will know how to do that just yet. I haven't figured out the app that I want to use yet, or at least share with you guys yet, about attaching work and picture files to the documents. So a lot of the questions are you just answer the questions. I'm going to try to make the quizzes and the other questions on Google Classroom related to the work. The work's there for you to practice on your own and then answer the questions based off of that work. How to find the zeros of a polynomial tool? You either do factoring or the quadratic formula. The polynomials it gave you should already be in factored form, right? So the zeros, it's like if I had a polynomial like p of x equals x plus 3, 2x minus 1. Then the zeros are when the whole function is equal to 0. 0 equals x plus 3, 2x minus 1. So you split the two parentheses. Or if there's more parentheses, you split them all. So x plus 3 equals 0. 2x minus 1 equals 0. Just solve for x. And those are your zeros. For those people that are just kind of tuning in, I know that there's some issues trying to log in using your student Gmail account to actually watch the videos. Obviously, if you're watching now, then you already know that. If you are watching and your friends are getting stuck, can you please spread the word? I'm going to post that on Google Classroom as well, but please just spread the word to the people that know, and let them know that they might need to sign into a secondary Google account to watch the YouTube videos and to watch the stream. They still need to access their Gmail account to get into, if you're in geometry, to get into Envision, to get into Google Classroom, and how you sign up for and to get into Khan Academy. But the YouTube, for right now, I'm going to talk to our tech department again. I'm going to send them an email as soon as this is over, and ask them to unrestrict YouTube for this break, at least for your student accounts, or at least allow my channel to be viewed as an online learning process. So hopefully that will go over well. And as soon as they email me back, I will let you guys know. So just try to spread the word for me if you don't mind. It's going to take a village to get all this stuff done and all the kinks worked out. So I appreciate your support in letting everyone else know what's going on. If there are any other questions you guys have, we're kind of wrapping up the stream here. Gonna oh, you sent me that email. Okay, Jenna, hopefully you got your answer there. So any last kind of minute questions here? We're gonna wrap up the stream in the next 5 minutes. I think this was pretty good. A lot of people checking in and signing in, so I appreciate you guys taking your time and working through all the issues that we're having so far. Trying to get through this. So our viewing numbers start to dwindle here. No problem, Zainab. I appreciate you guys checking in again. Knowing that what I'm trying to do isn't going to waste, I really do appreciate that as well. So thank you all for checking in and tuning in with us. And hopefully all your families are healthy and doing well, and you guys stockpiled up for the next couple weeks. And hoping the best for everyone out there. You're welcome, guys. Yep. Let me switch over and check that. Refresh. Oops, this is the wrong hour. That would be why. Pre-calculus. One new student updated, so you should be good to go now, Aya. You're welcome. Thank you again, guys, for coming and checking out what's going on here, and appreciate that you guys are making the effort to actually stay in touch. A lot of good, most students have checked in with me so far, so I really do appreciate that, and knowing that the effort that I'm trying to put here for you guys is not going to waste. So I'll set out a couple last kind of minute things. I am going to set up a remind for both geometry and pre-calc. I'll put that information in the Google Classroom. And I will try to set up this weekend. I'm going to look more at what our upcoming schedule is going to be like for both classes, and I'll post a live stream schedule for what's going on for next week, for the next couple weeks. And if that needs to be adjusted, and we'll do that. Please make sure that if you have questions, you ask them. Ask questions. Email me. Send me a message on Remind once I have it set up. Send me a message on Google Classroom. Any way you can get a hold of me, do so. And I might not be able to get back to you right away, but I'll definitely get back to you as soon as I can. I'm not sure what question. So it's not the y-intercept; it's the asymptote, horizontal asymptote. The asymptote is something that the graph's never going to cross. Y-intercept actually crosses on the y-axis, so those are two different things. So you want to look up what the horizontal asymptote. What value can y not be for your function? Because if y is that value, it makes that function not true. That's what it's asking you for. All right, so we're going to close it out here. Again, thank you, everyone, for coming and checking us out today. We've been live for about an hour just for our test stream. If I didn't get to your question, please email me. If there's anything else I can help you out with that I can walk you through. Google Classroom is going to be my biggest tool of communication. I'm going to set up a remind, but double check your Google Classroom. Stay up to date with Khan Academy and the assignments posted in Google Classroom throughout the week. Give you a couple days to kind of do those and move forward and go from there. Yes, Jen, the asymptote is the end behavior. Yes, on those, if it has a horizontal asymptote, it is the end behavior, exactly. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will hopefully talk to you maybe this Friday. I might do another stream this Friday just to help people out, and maybe a shorter one, just if there's any last-minute questions. And other than that, we will see you next week, Monday, Tuesday. I'll let you know. I'll set up a stream schedule. I'll post that again on Remind, Google Classroom, and we'll go from there. Have a good rest of your evening here, and we'll see you later.